From a green perspective.
Yeah, only from the green perspective. Yes, we will do it, but not from a perspective of saying that it's an inferior quality product.
I agree.
So I was coming more from a male agnostic on a quality product.
Got it. Thank you.
Any more questions? Anyone from the audience? Yes.
Yeah, I have a question further to this.
Ma'am, if you can please introduce yourself.
I'm Sai Sunita from SAIL. I would just like to know further to the answer which you have given, who are likely to be your customers for this green product? Well, who do you foresee them to buy this green product, green steel?
For the green products. So today what we have entered as a first phase is for construction segment. We are producing rebars. But as you can see, there are a lot of say automakers today, some of them are here, who are asking for recycled and green products because as a mandate it is coming in that they will have to use a percentage of say recycled content in their cars for the newer cars, right? Similar to that, tomorrow there may be a green procurement policy by the government saying that if you produce green steel, you will have a higher allocation or a premium in the government procurement. Also, we are looking at, say, a lot of companies today, reputed builders who are asking for us in terms of emissions of these green products. Hence, we get an added advantage. It may not today materialize into a rupees crores, but it will help you get a higher share in the market.
Well, I think there are no more questions from the audience, so let us wrap up this session. Thank you very much, all of you. That concludes an extremely engaging discussion on India's recycling ecosystem and the opportunities ahead. I would request all of you for the group photograph here. And also, I would request Aviral to hand over a token of appreciation to each of the dignitaries here. Can we have a round of applause for each of them, please? May I now request Mr. K. Senthilnathan to come onto the stage to hand over a token of appreciation for the session moderator, Mr. Aviral Chandra, and have a photo as well. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. We are now moving ahead. We are now moving ahead with our special session. This is India's time to decarbonize logistics. Can you reduce the sound? Thank you. So this special session is on India's time to decarbonize logistics. Some of the topics in this session are need for green logistics, ESG pressure on steel supply chains, integrated ecosystem, aligning fuel infrastructure, fleets, and shippers into one network, the LNG and EV revolution, bridge fuel for long haul, EV for high frequency lanes, cost-effective and scalable, the path from pilot to pan-India scale. Tech-oriented, route optimization, and real-time visibility as reliability enablers. To take you through to this session, I would like to invite Mr. Aruna Mandal, General Manager, RA and Assisted Sourcing M Junction, as the session moderator, please. May I please request Mr. Aruna to be on the stage, please? So the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So welcome to the special session on India's time to decarbonize logistics. So we have heard throughout the day eminent speakers speaking about decarbonization in the various steel processes and the need for decarbonization in the market. Now we come to the critical part of steel, that is logistics. The pressure on steel industry to decarbonize, as of now, as you can understand, is no longer confined to the factory floor. Global carbon border mechanism and domestic ESG targets mean that greening our supply chain is now a critical business priority. Yet, heavy bulk freight like moving iron ore, scrap, and finished steel remains one of the hardest transport sectors to clean up. To explore how we transition from pilot projects to pan-India scale, we are joined today by Mr. Yudhishthir Ruia. Mr. Yudhishthir Ruia, as a part of SR's third generation, is focused on shaping the group's future through clean mobility and sustainable infrastructure. So Mr. Ruya, welcome to the stage, please. And please be seated. And so while he goes through the presentation, so briefly about him, currently he is leading SR's green mobility ecosystem comprising Greenline, UGEL and BEM. And most interestingly, he is building an integrated platform for low emission transport in India through LNG, EVs and scalable fueling infrastructure. His goal is clear: decarbonize road logistics with solutions that are practical, future-ready, tech-driven, and built for scale. So over to you, Mr. Ruya. We look forward to hear from you.
Right. Is there a pointer I can use to change the presentation? Well, firstly, good evening, and thank you for having us here at Steelathon. It's a pleasure, and I'm really glad that I got to meet so many people from the industry. So just a little bit about myself. My name is Yudhishthir. Born and raised in Bombay. We in fact just came from Bombay this morning. I think I got the rain with me as well because I saw that it's pretty rainy outside. But being from Bombay, the hustle and bustle. One thing that really stayed with me throughout my life, especially when I went to college, was that change is constant, and that's something that each industry has had to live by that mantra through every phase of evolution and change that has come its way. So very similarly, for the entire logistics side of things, the entire logistics ecosystems for heavy-duty trucking, that change, it stays throughout. And therefore, the time to introduce a decarbonized solution into India for heavy-duty trucking is of real importance, and it's also something that is doable and possible today. So that's kind of why we created Greenline. So what is Greenline? Greenline is an integrated green logistics service provider for companies and sectors such as the steel sector. But the word integrated is very important because in order to decarbonize this entire industry, it's very important that all parts of the value chain are aligned. And what I mean by that is from the OEM to the logistics provider to the gas provider or the fuel provider, whether it's gas or electricity, they all need to be aligned in order to make this a reality. So in order to create that ecosystem, we have founded 3 companies. The first one being Blue Energy Motors, which is an OEM that manufactures LNG as well as EV heavy-duty 55-tonner trucks. The second is Greenline, which is the pure-play logistics provider and service provider to companies such as within the steel industry or within the cement and FMCG industry. And then a company within Greenline called Ultra Gas and Energy, which is your retail network and fuel station provider pan-India to allow the fueling of these LNG and EV trucks so that you can move from point A to B. And it's important to have this ecosystem play out together because if you don't have one part of the ecosystem, it's the classic chicken and egg situation where the OEM will say, why should I scale up my truck manufacturing when there's no stations to service my trucks? And the service and the station manufacturer is saying, why will I put up a pan-India network of stations today when there's no truck today? So that's why the hand-in-hand needs to be played out in this industry. So where are we today for Greenline? We have over 1,000 LNG and EV trucks deployed within India today. In fact, recently we just crossed 100 million kilometers cumulative in the last 3 years on our fleet. So that's a massive goal that we've been able to achieve. And it's allowed us to show that we have operational excellence within multiple sectors across steel, cement, FMCG, oil and gas chemicals. And we've also been able to do this pan-India. And if I were to drill down on our LNG truck in specific, the beauty of LNG is that you get long distance, wherein you're allowed to get somewhere between 1,200 and 1,400 kilometer range if the road permits it. And what we've also innovated with because of the lack of fuel stations that we initially started this project with, is that we added a tank on top of a tank to ensure that we have twice the range. So for many of our trucks, we have 2,800 kilometer range, which is effectively doing east to west and west to east on 1 to 2 fills in between. And it allows us to kind of shrink the need for your retail stations in order to ensure that the adoption for decarbonization is as quick and as smooth as possible. Moving on to the EV truck, the way that we kind of position Greenline is that we should have a solution for long haul and a solution for short haul. So long haul is where the LNG game is, and short haul is where, of course, the EV game is. And with EV, of course, we all know the kind of issues that are with an EV truck with the upfront capital cost, with the range anxiety. But because we have battery swap solutions, which allows you to swap your battery in under 5 minutes, you're taking away that charging and range anxiety that you have because you can do multiple of them across India. And also we have a battery as an energy or battery as a service model as well, where you're able to bring down the initial cost of capital for the truck itself so that you can at least start your journey of decarbonizing. And in terms of the range of applications that we run for our truck, we effectively run more or less all the applications needed in this industry to kind of move product pan-India, whether it's your sidewalls, your tippers, your flatbeds, bulkers. We have a range of products that and a range of solutions that we provide to all our customers. I think one of the main important things of being a trailblazer in an industry which is fully integrated is that if you truly want to scale, and for Greenline our goal is to get to 10,000 trucks in the next 2 to 3 years, which is completely owned and operated from where we are today, which is at 1,000. I think the only way that we can do something like that is through tech. And therefore, the command center and our entire tech stack, we were able to make it ground up in the last 3.5 years. But it's the most important piece of this puzzle because I will not be able to achieve sustainability and scalability if I don't have this entire tech play in my arsenal right now. And therefore, in terms of what it can track, I think one of the advantages of building this the truck from ground up is that I'm able to add a lot more things to that truck in order to get as much information out of it. So we get 120 data points on our truck every single second. Every single thing that you can imagine that is trackable on that truck, we get a 24/7 live feed of that. And therefore, that allows us to have a better uptime. It allows us to have full visibility on the truck, the performance of the truck, the deliverables of the truck for schedule maintenance and everything like that. It just allows a lot more, I would say, kind of a 360-degree visibility on what is going on with my asset. And apart from that, another big thing that we are focused on in Greenline is safety. And by doing so, we have one ADAS camera inside the vehicle, which is front-facing for the driver. So this is checking their pupils if they're tired. It's checking if they have consumed any alcohol while driving. And it effectively tries to reduce and minimize the amount of accidents that our drivers can unfortunately have. And apart from that one camera, we also have 6 other cameras that are surrounding the vehicle. So this is 2 on the sides, one looking ahead, one looking behind, one's looking specifically at the load that has been put onto the vehicle to ensure that for all our customers, there is utmost safety of not only the driver, the vehicle, but also the asset and the cargo that is being carried. So that is something, again, from a sustainability, from a safety, and from a scalability angle, it's imperative for us to have all these elements in place in order for us to grow. And this is something that we also provide to all our customers as well. So if we are running 10 to 15 or 20 trucks for a particular customer, we're able to give them a unique and specific dashboard of those 15, 20 vehicles as to where they are, what they're doing, are they on time, are they not on time, and it kind of gives the customer a little bit of visibility to them as well in terms of planning and preparations for them for dispatching, for to ensure that truck bunching is not happening at stations at their sites. So it allows us to kind of give that 360-degree view to the customer as well. And if we were to just kind of break down the steel industry a little bit more higher view, I think it's already been mentioned that 180 million tons of steel is being moved within India, and on a daily basis, I think it's about 1.4 to 1.5 million tons of steel that's being moved on a daily basis. So it's a massive movement of steel, and about 50% of that is happening on road itself. So if this entire conference we've spoken so much about green steel, about decarbonizing, and 50% of that movement is happening 100% on diesel as it is today. So this is a big segment that requires a lot of decarbonization as well, and we have kind of started that journey 3 years ago. Luckily for us, it's one of those journeys that is true today, it's scalable today, it's doable today, and we've demonstrated that with having upwards of 1,000 trucks with a vision to have at least 10,000 in the next 2 to 3 years. And we, of course, know all the industry problems, some of them that I had recently just stated, whether that's dispatch issues, whether that's DO issues, whether that's bunching issues. The tech stack that we provide allows a little bit of decongesting for the customer in terms of the visibility of which trucks are coming to your site for loading or for unloading. And I think it just allows a little bit for a better planning system between the logistics service provider as well as the customer. This is some of the things that, of course, that we deliver, which is, I spoke a little bit about this, which is in terms of your HSSE and your safety standards, in terms of operating in a much more efficient way. And of course, one of the main things that we have kind of been asked over the years is that how do you get priced in comparison to diesel? And that's a big point because we know that this industry is a razor-thin margin industry, and therefore asking the client to pay more for a green vehicle and a green movement is a bit of a long shot, right? And we kind of knew that from the start. We expected it to be a bit of a long shot to ask for that, and therefore what we did is we effectively have gone to the market and have said that effectively what you pay for diesel is what will be our commercial pricing as well. So that effectively means that there is no premium to having a green service provider, and therefore the move to decarbonize vehicles and the move to green logistics just makes absolute sense because I'm not asking for a premium to the logistics that you're already paying to your diesel provider. I'm going to decarbonize that entire solution for you at the exact same price. So that's where the sustainability and the scalability side of it really takes another level. These are all the customers that we service today. So it's been about 3.5 years of operation, and we've been lucky enough to kind of serve the top clients of India. We're looking to grow that portfolio. We're looking to go deeper into these customers and their roots, pan-India. Some of the key routes that we kind of take today is between Bombay, Delhi, Bombay, Nagpur, Bombay, Chennai. We do east to west, massive amounts of movements. So it is in a way today limited to where the stations are, but that ecosystem is, to be honest, rapidly growing, and it's allowing us to open up more and more routes, going forward. And this is something that we've been doing since day one for our clients. So another big thing about talking about decarbonization for a lot of your industry players, something that we've been doing since day one is giving out green certificates, which is kind of certifying that for every single trip you have saved X amount of trees and X amount of CO2 because you used a green line vehicle vis-a-vis a diesel one. And that goes entirely to the client. They're able to use that for their balance sheet purposes, for their scope 3 emissions purposes. So this is something that clients have really come back to us and said that this is of great value to them, because we're not giving you a service for a premium. We're giving it to you at the same cost, and you're able to get the CO2 and scope 3 emissions benefit out of that. So that also kind of makes us a little bit different in this industry. And speaking a little bit about Ultra Gas, which is our pan-India fueling network company, the way that we want to populate this entire map of India with LNG stations is that for the 55-ton category, we'd like to go along the national highways and the expressways, because that's where majority of your movement is going to be for your larger vehicles. So where are we present today? We are present all across the west coast, which is Rajasthan, Gujarat, Maharashtra. We are present in Karnataka. We're present in Tamil Nadu. We're present in Odisha. We are getting deeper into Maharashtra with a couple more stations in and around that area. We currently have 8 operating stations. 3 of them are completely finished with waiting PESO approval, and about 5 are under construction across various regions to ensure that we truly get a coverage of India. The goal is to get to 100 stations, and we aim to close this year with about 25 stations. So thank you very much. If you want to learn a little bit more about Greenline and what we do, this is just a QR code for our website. More than happy to be in touch with anybody that's interested. We will be present here and outside as well. And it's truly very humbling that we are able to start this entire revolution for decarbonized trucking in India. Of course, building out the ecosystem is it is difficult and it comes with its challenges. But this is a challenging industry, and we're all for it. The Greenline team is right here. We're all up for the fight, and this is something that we believe is true, it's doable, and it is possible to scale today. So thank you very much, and hope to see you guys soon.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Yudhishthir, for this insightful presentation. Now we have time for 1 or 2 questions. So anyone in the audience would like to ask questions, please. So are there any questions? If there are no questions, then I have my 1 or 2. Okay, so Yudhishthir, you are targeting a pan-India scale. So we are aware about the challenges in infrastructure, getting the stakeholder views aligned, there are costs involved. So how are you planning to go about it? Then we keep on hearing about, LNG fueling issues. So are you planning to open LNG fueling stations near the steel hubs or the mining clusters? Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so again, from the planning of the LNG stations, number one, it's, like I mentioned, it's very important for us to be on the highway. And that's, again, predominantly because our 55-tonner trucks will eventually hit the highway for our pan-India movement. So that's kind of the first way of thinking. But number two, I think it's kind of building a team that is very focused on land acquisition, because, of course, along the highway, that can be a bit of a challenge, and we want to roll this out fairly quickly. I think another thing is the way that we've positioned a lot of our stations is that we have it very close to your steel hubs as well. So, for example, we have one station in Turangulu itself. We have one station in Angul. We have another station coming up in Jajpur. We have another station coming up in Jamshedpur. We have a station coming up near Raipur. So these are all the heavy belts. We have one in Palwal as well, one in Panipat that's coming up. So the density of stations near the highway, number one, and near your kind of manufacturing centers, number two, that becomes the focal point for us to kind of say, okay, this is going to give us our best and biggest bang for our buck by putting up a station over here. It allows us to go 700-800 kilometers going and coming for the truck itself, right? So that allows us to open up multiple corridors by doing so. And it is challenging because getting the land acquisition and sometimes conversion of land side of things can be a little tricky and can take a little bit of time. But I think that's something that our team has been able to get much better at over the years, and it's allowed us to kind of grow from, I think we had 3 or 4 operational stations in the first 2 years to now 8, with 3 in completed and about 5 in construction. So it has been a bit of a journey, but it's something that we've kind of learned along the way.
Okay, thank you. So thank you. Still, and one final question we keep on hearing about, generally the understanding is LNG would be used for long haul, EVs for high frequency lanes. Does the specific framework apply for moving steel raw materials and finished products?
I think yes and no. Wherever there is a fuel availability of LNG, I think even local movements of a couple hundred kilometers each way can still be very viable on something like LNG. I fully understand that EV is the buzzword and the name of the game, but I think the adoption of EV in terms of your pan-India network of creation, because you're limited with range, your need for stations and your need for charging points along the coast would be far greater. So to start with, if you have local movement of steel, from plant to plant, or for example from port to warehouse or something like that, I think those movements can be adopted very quickly with EV today. But I think a combination of EV as well as LNG, that's where you truly get the benefit of this entire decarbonized ecosystem.
Okay, so it's a combination of both which would help in moving the heavy materials. So thank you. And what stands out? Yeah, sorry.
I just want to ask him whether have you decided to market your services on government e-marketplace, GEM?
Actually, my team might be a little better suited for that one, but I am not sure.
I'm asking because SAIL generally, they like to finalize through GEM, and there is a logistic things going on, tender. So I wanted to just check with you whether you are on GEM.
Okay, I will, yes we are.
Okay, are there any more questions before we conclude? Thank you. I think what stands out from our discussion is decarbonizing steel logistics is no more a futuristic concept. There are many solutions which are available in terms of smart usage of EVs and LNGs.
Yep.
And of course, these are backed by a smart digital platform. So my understanding is that steel to scrap value chain requires such kind of low emission platform so that the steel industry can meet their Scope 3 emission targets in the steel value chain. So thank you, Mr.
Yeah.
Yudhishthir.
I think it's one of the things that's a low-hanging fruit for the entire steel industry, because, like I said, it's available today, and it also, from the client perspective, there's no additional investment required. There's nothing required from the client in order to kind of get started today. For a lot of the decarbonization stories for the steel industry, a lot of changes within the plant needs to actually happen in order for that to happen, whether that's brownfield or whether that's greenfield. But there's a lot of investment, a lot of time, a lot of decision making that goes behind trying to decarbonize certain aspects of the plant that you've already built. But for a decarbonized logistics solution which is available today, it's one of those Scope 3 emissions which is very easily and possible today to reduce. So it's one of those things that why not? We should give it a try. We have such a big plan to decarbonize our entire industry, and this is a low-hanging fruit. We can start tomorrow.
So low investment and low hanging is what is the takeaway, which is which makes it easier to decarbonize the steel logistics chain.
Yep, absolutely.
So thank you very much for the insight. It has been an engaging discussion. So with that, I bring the session to a close. So over to you, Amit.
Thank you, Mr. Vandal. A very insightful and wonderful presentation, Yudhishthir, you have made. And it is very insightful for all of us to know that Greenline is doing such a tremendous work in the market. So with this, we have come to an end to this session. I would request Mr. Vandal to hand over a token of appreciation for Yudhishthir, who has made such a splendid presentation to all of us, and also have a group photograph. Thank you, Yudhishthir. Thank you, Mr. Mandal. So while we set up the stage for the next session, which is an interesting session, my colleague Abhishek has come up again, as he came earlier in the day, with his 5-minute steel trivia, which has very interesting and probing questions. And I would request all of you to participate, and there are certain exciting gifts which is up for grabs. So over to you, Abhishek.
Hello. Yes. Thank you, Amit. Thank you once again. Good afternoon, everyone. I said good afternoon. Oh, great. That's the spirit. So I'm just going to look for the changer, the slide changer, and here it is. So can we kindly have quiz set 2 out here?
Can we have the visuals, please?
Oh, there it is. Okay, so I think we are good to go. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, in the morning we had steel reality. Now we're going to have steel fiction. Chaliye, so the same rules apply. All you have to do is raise your hand, okay? Question number 1, coming your way. From steel and comics, this term was coined by his creators to establish him as the ultimate pinnacle of physical power and to build a lasting, iconic persona. Some comic historians believe that the nickname was inspired by earlier pulp heroes like Doc Savage, who was known as the Man of Bronze. Therefore, this nickname served as a way to show that this particular character was even more powerful. Which superhero are we talking about? I have a hand. I have a hand.
Superman, Man of Steel.
Iron Man. Iron Man, okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we can see, it's a clear-cut fight between DC and Marvel. But today, DC wins the prize. It is Superman, Man of Steel.
Can we have a round of applause for the winner, please?
Well done, sir. I think this is your second award of the day. Congratulations. So, Superman, Man of Steel. Yes. Iron Man was a good attempt, but okay. Chalega. Okay, now steel and film. The American X, Steel Warrior, is a 1993 American sci-fi action film. X is a being with both organic and biomechatronic body parts. In contrast to biorobots and androids, this term X applies to a living organism that has undergone restoration of function or enhancement of abilities due to the integration of some artificial components or technology that relies on feedback. I have a hand at the very end. I have a hand at the very end. Sangram, wait. sorry. Sir?
Cyborg.
Okay. Cyborg. How can you be so sure?
Actually, he was American 1993.
American, 1993, cyborg, some part human, some part robot, a mix of both. Can we have a big round of applause for sir? It is cyborg. Just like Terminator, living tissue over a metal endoskeleton. Okay, so we now go to the third question. This character X is a genius engineer who builds a mechanized suit of armor. Now, X's weapon is a sledgehammer, mind you, and his real name is John Henry Irons. These are references to the mythical railroad worker, John Henry, who was known as the X-driving man. In 1997 film adaptation of the same name, this particular character X was portrayed by the legendary Shaquille O'Neal. You can understand he's a huge guy. All I want is his name. Again, sir, yes, in the pink shirt. Yes, sir, sir. Yes, sir. Can someone take the mic to him? Okay, mic is taking a little bit of time.
John Henry.
No, sir. No, incorrect. I'm looking for a 5-letter word which starts with S. head first, but what did you say?
I just said steel.
Why did you say steel, sir?
You said five-letter word and nothing better than steel.
Five-letter word, nothing better than steel, in the Indian Steel Markets Conference. Can we have a huge round of applause for sir? It is steel. The name of this character is steel. Sometimes the hardest of questions are the easiest of answers. Yes. Thank you, sir. So we come to this last one, which is steel. Now comes the steelathon or the connect. So these are the three people: the man of steel, cyborg with steel parts, and the guy called Steel. Which legendary group of superheroes are they a part of? And the list is not exhaustive. They also have Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Flash, Hawkgirl, Aquaman, Batman, and that hand went up in a flash.
DC.
DC, not exactly DC. I'll go there. Justice League. Sir said the name of the creator. You gave me the name of the actual group. Brilliant. Brilliant. Sir, can I have your name, please? Okay. Can we have a bigger round of applause for the people who are answering? Okay, so this is Justice League. So this is a bit of steel in comics, nomenclature, and everywhere else. Well, that was my quiz for today, ladies and gentlemen. I enjoyed conducting it. I hope you all liked it. Did you? Okay, this is your quizmaster, Abhishek, signing off. Cheers.
Thank you, Abhishek, for bringing that energy and also very difficult questions, but the audience has responded really well. A big round of applause for all of you once again. So, ladies and gentlemen, now we have come to the final session, and this session has to be special because this is the last session of day one. The topic of this session is Women in Leadership, leading the next era of transformation. Our final session today celebrates leadership, diversity, and inclusion. The steel and metal industry is witnessing an encouraging rise in women leaders across technical, operational, and strategic roles. Today's discussion will focus on leadership journeys, diversity and inclusion, workplace transformation, talent development, building future-ready organization. To take you through with all these topics, I will now invite each of the eminent speakers onto the stage, starting with Ms. Swastika Basu, Managing Director, Jamipol. While she's coming to the stage, let me also introduce her to all of you. Swastika heads Jamipol, a joint venture of Tata Steel and Global Partners, a seasoned C-suite leader with over 10 years of board-level experience. Her career spans manufacturing, global procurement, enterprise risk management, and business strategy across India, Europe, Canada, and Southeast Asia. During her tenure at Tata Steel, she architected and rolled out a uniform enterprise risk management framework across all domestic and offshore subsidiaries, managed board-level risk governance simultaneously for 6 entities, including Tata Steel India, UK, and Netherlands, and oversaw procurement and supply chain for raw material, MRO, bulk consumables, coal, iron ore, coke, and scrap. A very warm welcome, Ms. Basu. Our next speaker is Ms. Rashmi Singh, Director Commercial, MOIL Limited. As Director Commercial of MOIL Limited since December 2023, Ms. Rashmi Singh leads the company's sales and marketing, procurement, and contract management functions. She is responsible for driving commercial strategy, strengthening customer relationships, ensuring efficient procurement practices, and enhancing the overall effectiveness of MOIL's commercial operations. She brings with her over 32 years of distinguished experience with SAIL, where she held key leadership positions across diverse areas of sales and marketing in both domestic and international markets. Again, very warm welcome, ma'am. Next in line is Ms. Neera Sood, General Manager, Coal Import Group, Steel Authority of India Limited. Can we have a round of applause for her, please? Ms. Neera Sood is a senior procurement and supply chain leader with over 35 years of experience at SAIL, where she played a pivotal role in transforming procurement practices. She was among the pioneers who introduced reverse e-auction within SAIL and has been closely associated with Metal Junction since its inception, helping shape digital procurement and auction policies. In her most recent role, she is associated with strategic sourcing of imported metallurgical coal, managing global supplier relationships, negotiating commercial terms, and ensuring supply continuity in volatile international markets. Thank you, ma'am, for being here. Now, I would like to invite Ms. Chaitali Deb, CFO M Junction, to moderate the session and take us forward into the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Amit. I think we are over here on the stage. I again welcome all of you for this session. To me, leadership is agnostic to gender. So this is the motherhood statement which I am giving, but I think all of us believe that. But having said that, since the particular session today we are over here, that's women in leadership leading the next era of transformation. So to ask you, not a a question in that way, your perspective as a women leader, or otherwise to state, as a woman, what you think that you bring to the table as a leader. Rashmi, I'm asking this question to Rashmi ma'am.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure and an honor to be part of this conference today. And we are discussing a very relevant topic, and we'll keep discussing it till it becomes irrelevant. I hope it becomes irrelevant after some time. But today it is very much relevant. And Chetali was, she initiated, she said that the leadership is actually gender agnostic, which is a fact. But, in a scenario where, for steel and mining sector particularly, the total pool of talent is shrinking today. How many youngsters are there today who want to join steel and manufacturing or mining sector? Because there are so many other options available. 30 years ago, when we were graduating, that time we had very limited opportunities. Today, it's very difficult to get talent, to attract talent to steel and mining. So in this context, it's very important that we expand the pool. And fortunately, women are joining STEM, and they are equally competent. Competency is not an issue today. So, and leadership is not about hierarchy. Leadership is about adaptability. It is about sharing beliefs. It's about developing confidence in your workforce. So that, I'm not saying that that comes by diversity, but diversity helps to improve it, to strengthen it. So in my view, diversity will definitely help in leadership, in building more pool for leadership roles. But of course, a lot needs to be done. So I think we'll discuss during the course of discussion, what are the challenges, where we are today, and where we need to go. The development of leadership pipeline, which is so important. A lot is being done by, I think Tata Steel has been a pioneer in this area by, they have some underground mines where after, of course, the codes changed, the labor laws changed. They are now allowing women to go for the underground mining. And there are lots of women who are being trained to basically handle heavy equipment. So a lot is being done in Tata, JSW, even in SAIL. SAIL all had, for a long time, 30 years back also, we had women leaders. And when it comes to the industry, we have seen very women leaders. I don't want to name them. We all know them. And even in government also, if you see, even in steel ministry, we have seen 2 steel secretaries, one after the other, who are ladies. So ladies are getting there. But the problem is that when they reach the leadership positions, the higher positions, there is a tendency to drop out because of many reasons. So I think going forward, we'll be discussing those things, those constraints. Thank you.
So coming to Swastika madam, I'll ask you the same question, that your perspective as a leader, women leader, since you have worked all along in different companies of Tata's joint ventures and also in Tata Steel, and you have seen the international business and different, in the different verticals. So what is your perspective?
So thanks Chetali. Very good evening to everybody, and it's indeed a great pleasure to address this August gathering. Thank you, M. Junction, for giving me this opportunity to address you. I think this is a very, very pertinent question, and as you rightly put it at the beginning, that leadership is gender agnostic. Excellence is gender agnostic. What is gendered over the ages is the access to leadership. So, while India aspires to be 300 million ton of steel by 2030, we still rank as 129 in the World Economic Forum Gender Diversity Gap. So how can we improve that? As Ms. Singh has said, that more and more women are coming into this stream, into leadership, but we actually need to keep pushing the table, creating new tables such that there are more women leaders. Because while leadership is gender agnostic, I firmly believe that women bring a different perspective to it. Over the years, over the generations, they have been doing a lot of multitasking. I'm not saying that the other gender do not do it, but women are traditionally doing more of multitasking. They are consumers, they are caregivers, they are members of the community, extended family, childcare, and career. So what they bring is a different perspective. So when a woman sits at looking at the safety practices for, say, underground mines, and if there is a women, mining engineer, then they would put that into perspective to create safety gear, which is suitable for that frame or for that lady. So it brings a different perspective. They raise different questions. So it's not that leadership is only women or only men. Women complete the leadership. They bring a 360-degree overview of the leadership. And more women need to come into this. And we need to create a path. Because one woman, like somebody who's strolled down the path a further longer way, somebody like us, if we reach out and handhold another woman, if we can make the path a little shorter for the person who's next in line. So mentorship, I think, is very important for women, one woman to mentor another woman, because, a path trodden by somebody in that same line is much more useful than any standard operating procedure. So I think, my view is that women and gender diversity completes the leadership table, and we need more and more of that in the era of transformation.
Thank you, ma'am. So Neera, I'll ask you this particular question, that you have been in mainly in the supply chain.
Yes.
So what do you think? The supply chain is easier for the women or the operations? Because in operations, we have seen, including finance and supply chain, I think it is easier for women but to handle. But in case of operations, what is your take?
of all, let me thank you, M Junction, for actually including this topic in this conference, Steel Insights conference. It's absolutely a pleasure to be here and talking on this topic. I mean, it's really, really nice that this topic has been included. And like Rashmi said, we've been talking about it, and it should become irrelevant after some time. But I think that's a long time to go. I mean, I don't think it can become irrelevant so very fast. And as far as leadership goes, like, can I just answer the first question about being? So I feel that leadership is something which is not really defined by hierarchy. It can be defined by, it's every person, every individual who joins an organization actually wants to become a leader. The curiosity, the enthusiasm with which a person joins an organization is something which the organization has to nurture. And it's the responsibility of any organization to nurture that curiosity and that enthusiasm in that child who's joined as a management trainee or a junior engineer in the organization, because they're all wanting to work. So I think leadership actually begins, much before any person actually occupies the corner office. Not everybody gets to be at the corner office. So I think leadership is something which needs to be inculcated, I personally feel, in any organization, whether it is a man or a woman. Not everybody, can become a good leader. That's what I think. And as far as your question with regard to whether women working in the operations or in the side of supply chain management or any other roles is concerned, I think it's all about, your enthusiasm and your wanting to work, which makes you take that initiative. So a leader is one who takes an initiative, actually, who wants to kind of lead from the front. So it's irrespective of which discipline you're working from, whether it's marketing, whether it is in the operations side. Today in SAIL, we have so many women engineers who are working at the shop floors, at the blast furnaces and steel melting shops, and they are not only and these were predominantly male domains earlier. So now, I mean, and it's not only that that they are working as shop floor managers, they're also in leadership positions. They are taking some business decisions over there. So I think everybody needs to be encouraged by the organization to become a leader, some way or the other. So, and yeah, that's what I think.
So you are saying that it's the opportunity.
It's the opportunity, yes.
So once, whether it's female or male, especially in case of female, if she gets the opportunity, she will shine.
Absolutely.
And she can be the leader if she is having that particular quality.
I think today the environment is something which needs to be created, an environment which needs to be, especially in a steel industry like us, where there are fewer women and there are more men. So I think beyond, creating an environment where there is, safety and there infrastructure for women, you need to understand the women's specific requirements as well. And I think a little bit of encouragement from the seniors and also from the counterparts for helping women take challenging roles will go a long way. And also recognition and in whatever work they do, because women are capable. They're just waiting for good opportunities to come by their way. I think that's the thing.
Thank you. Yeah. So coming, how do you think the metal and the mining industry is giving this opportunity to the women? Because as Rashmi ma'am said that maybe people are more currently, since it is not that very friendly industry, metal and mining, you have to work hard. So people are more into the soft skill or IT, people prefer, including females. So how do you think that, whether the industry is giving them enough opportunity to the females, metal and mining, ma'am?
Yes, definitely. I think both the government as well as organizations are looking at this because they have realized that without women, they're actually leaving out 50% of the talent, So they are giving it a push, things like, maternity leave, which earlier in the late 90s, it used to be 6 weeks before due date and 6 weeks after due date. Now it's a 6 month. So giving due recognition to the fact that a new mother and a child need that much so that the women is comfortable post the maternity leave to join. And then the flexible practices. So organizations are also putting in flexible practices for a feeding mother or for somebody who's a caregiver. I've been in Singapore, I worked there. There are many, many women who are caregiver to senior citizens and they have flexible working policies. It's the work which is important, not the hours. So I think that is being done. And the other thing which the government is doing is, this 3-shift working. I think that is a big step towards encouraging more and more women towards this metal and mining industry. What organizations are doing it, suppose a woman is working, like I have a woman working on the shop floor. So if she does a 3rd shift, night shift, then what are the safety things which are required once she is free from her duty? So all those things organizations are doing. So both institutions, the government as well as the organizations, are pushing the envelope to make sure that more and more women are coming into this metal and mining industry.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving this perspective. So so in this case, as a leader, since you are also participating in the hiring, what is the hiring policy this industry should take?
See, earlier, the difference between now and earlier, the main difference is that earlier there was only intent. Now the systems are being put in place. Unless you have systems in place, which have to start from recruitment. It has to start from recruitment, from assigning training, of course, pre-posting in such shift duties or heavy duties. You train them equally. I'm not saying that you train them specially, but you train them. And then you, from the beginning itself, especially at the beginning of the career, you have to provide equal opportunity. Normally, we tend to post women in, soft areas. They'll be doing MIS and stuff like that. Of course, in finance and personnel, in finance, I think gradually we are seeing more and more women. Very shortly, we'll see more women than men in finance function. And especially now with AI, automation, even mining is becoming not that much physical, so to say, because remote mining is happening now. There are control rooms from which you can handle things. But initially, of course, in the initial part, no woman will hesitate to take a tough job. You have to give them opportunity. They'll be willing to work. We've seen in SAIL also. So many young women we see in steel plants. I was visiting a wheel plant of SAIL at Durgapur. And the shop floor in charge was a woman. And she was a young lady, maybe in her early 30s. So at the initial part, it's easier for women. During mid-career and late career, they have more responsibilities. Ailing not only children, but also elder people to take care of. She has to give care to all. Whatever a woman may become, primarily she is a homemaker. Let's believe that. And at least most of the women would like to continue like that. We want to be the home caregiver, basically, not homemaker, but caregiver. And then be equally proud of our professional careers also. So there should be no compromise. But as, Madam Swastika Madam also mentioned, that you have to provide flexibility in working hours. You let them work for 8 hours or 9 hours or whatever is your, as per your norms, whatever is the time. But give them flexible timing. They can come early, they can leave early, they can time off midday, depending on the requirement. But women want to contribute equally. They have to work an extra mile to be at par with men because there are certain advantages which men have, women do not have because of the time constraint. But I speak from my experience of 35 years in this industry. They are equally willing, equally eager to learn and to contribute. So the initial part, you have to give them opportunity. You give them tough job. Don't be, soft towards women. They are equally capable, let me tell you. And then, depending on the stage of career, you have to give them support. They have to be given some training. Equally, even men need to be trained, Mid-career training is important for everyone, not only women, but for men also. And most of the companies in steel sector and mining sector are already doing that. As I said, earlier it was an intent, now there are systems to support from entry till training till mid-career development. So things are taking shape. Thank you.
So again, coming back to Swastika Madam, so what is your input to the persons or the women who are coming to since the industry is transforming, both the steel industry and the mining industry is transforming very fast, and the way of working, including the shop floor, as ma'am is already mentioning, it is not on-site but off-site. Mining is also started. So what is your perspective, or you want to inform the industry and the people who are coming to work in this industry, people in the sense the females, your inputs?
So my take on this is to all the youngsters, young ladies who want to come into this this metal and mining industry. I think it's a great industry to be in. I personally speak from my 35 years of working in this industry. But let's not wait for the room to be ready, so to say. Let's take the chance. Maybe Rashmi or me or you, Neera, we have taken that step 35 years back. The room was not ready for us. But you have to take that first step, and then the room actually wants more and more people. The industry wants more and more females to be there. They want more than you think of. But that first step has to be from the women. Please don't wait for the change, make the change happen. If I can quote an example of Madam Sudha Murthy. She saw an advertisement of then Telco, Tata Motors now, saying that lady candidates need not apply, lady engineers need not apply. And then she wrote a letter to JRD Tata that why shouldn't lady engineers apply? I have studied same engineering as my male counterpart. And that changed things. So she made that change happen. So, to all the women out there who aspire to be in this industry, we are the change. We are the change makers. We need to make the change happen. And then the path will automatically be cleared for us because currently we have the advantage of equal opportunity employer, talent-based organization. If there is a man who's talented, if there's a woman who's talented, talent actually takes the call between a man and a woman or two women. So it's not basically between gender, but if there is talent or if there is merit, because these are merit-based organizations. So to all those women out there, step out of your comfort zone and be at it even when you have self-doubt. Because the difference between those who have made it and those who maybe have not is the ability to show up again and again despite having those doubts.
So Neera, the same question I'll be asking you, your perspective.
Yeah, I so agree with what she said, actually. So I sometimes feel that some certain women are born leaders, but we are often in a self-denial mode that we can't be there and we can't do that. That is something we need to stop saying to ourselves because we can do everything and much more. That's what I think. So as far as, I'll just tell you what SAIL is doing with regard to leadership development because we really need to have women leaders at the forefront because we want to attract talent from the youngsters who are studying metallurgy and mining, who want to see women leaders and also join the industry. So we have this program in SAIL which is called, which is a very intentional leadership development program for women, which is called Anya. It is actually a program where it's a year-long journey-based program for women. And interestingly enough, it is a program in which you're not chosen. you can choose the program. You can choose to be a part of this program. So you can self-nominate yourself to be a part of this program. So that's one very good thing of this program. So any women can become a part of this program. So where it's a year-long program where there are workshops, where you meet the industry leaders, where there are business simulation exercises, where you actually go beyond your own work profile and you learn much more new things. So that's happening, and you also have coaches and mentors, which help you, get over your inhibitions and your stereotypes of, sometimes somebody, maybe your mother, your father, or anybody could tell you can't do this, and sometimes you stay with that stereotype, maybe you can't do it. But going through these programs, there have been instances, there have been stories in which people have been able to talk to their mentor one-on-one and have been able to kind of look at themselves in a different perspective, and also the people they're working around within a different perspective, and have changed themselves, have started becoming more confident of themselves, more communicative. And also this program is very interesting because it has now made a network of women across steel plants and units, because there are lots of women from steel plants and units come. So earlier we used to say that men grow in the organizations because they're able to network. So Anya is actually providing a space to all the women to network, mentor other women who they see like themselves, and pull them up from where they are and push them. So we really want to be for them. Each woman has to be from the other person, yes. So that's what sales.
So thank you all. So before I close this particular session, which is very interesting, and I just want to say that the opportunities are there. So please leave your self-doubt. You can. So please step out and you will be there. So we have arrived. Thank you all. Anybody is having any questions?
Anyone from the audience having any question? All right. So thank you very much, ma'am, for coming and attending this conference. I would not request Ms. Chaitali Dev to hand over a token of appreciation to each of the eminent speakers, please. Also request for a group photograph, ma'am, please. Thank you. So I said earlier that this is the last session, but listening to the women in leadership in steel industry, can we have one more interesting session with all your permission? Thank you. Thank you. So I'll request the organizing team to request everybody from the lobby to be here in the room, as we have a very upcoming, very interesting session. And it will be a very exhilarating experience for all of you. I can assure all of you that this wait would be really worth. We are waiting for a very interesting session, and believe you me, it would be not at all related to steel, but everything to do with steel. As I said, first few sessions were on steel. You have heard about steel dynamics, you have heard about supply, demand, you have heard about scrap value chain, you have heard about procurement strategies, you have heard about a lot of things. and then you have heard about women in leadership. So what is coming out as a theme is steel and then women. So have you seen steel in motion? Have you seen a woman made of steel? We have very soon with us Miss Shalini Saraswati, who I would just introduce to all of you. Shalini Saraswati is an adventure enthusiast, Blade Runner. Yes, you heard me right. She's a Blade Runner, national level athlete, marathoner, public speaker, and chief of strategy at Rise Bionics. In 2012, Shalini was returning from a vacation in Cambodia, pregnant, fresh from the celebrations of her 4th anniversary, and on the brink of a promotion, when a fever changed her life. What began as a mild illness turned out to be rickettsial with moths, a rare bacterial infection. In the months that followed, she lost her baby, survived multiple organ failure, and slipped into a coma. 4 days later, she awoke to unresponsive limbs. Shalini went on to lose all 4 of her limbs, becoming a quadruple amputee. The next few months were spent in the journey of self-discovery, learning to redefine the rhythms and routines of everyday life. Her determination and never say die attitude brought her to athletics. What began as just another means to maintain fitness and general health soon turned into a passion. Shalini, supported and trained by coach BP Ayappa, soon started participating in marathons. In 2017, she completed the TCS 10K marathon with a timing of 1 hour and 35 minutes. She continues to train, always committed to the goals of betterment and growth. She today is a national silver medalist 2022 and national gold medalist 2021 at the National Para Games under 100-meter sprint category. She's represented India at the Asian Games in Hangzhou 23 and hold the Asian record of the fastest woman on blades, T62 category. On the top of it all, she also advocates for the inclusion of persons with disability on various platforms. She's an ambassador for Adventures Beyond Barriers Foundation, a non-profit promoting inclusion of PWDs through the platform of adventure sports. On days off, she likes to dance, sing, and laugh upright in the company of family and friends. Some of the testimonials I would like to share with you that people have spoken about her. Shalini has spoken to members of IMA's forum on a number of occasions. Her story is one of inestimable courage, but it is also one of great heart. It is a story beautifully told because of how truthfully it is told. Shalini has lived through a life-changing experience, one that would have brought most lesser people down, but Shalini is just different. She speaks of her life with candor and with humor. Her learnings are personal, but they apply to each of us. Life is put into a simpler, happier, more grateful perspective once you engage with Shalini. This was said by Radha Aluwalia, Managing Director, IMA India. Another testimonial that I wanted to read out is, thank you for an absolutely delightful and invigorating keynote address, Shalini. The 130 managers who you spoke to feel privileged to learn from the journey you traversed. In a matter of fact, transforming yourself and taking full control of accountability of life. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Shalini Saraswati. Can we have another round of applause for her? I have just shared about you, the background, and people are mesmerized and they are keen to listen to you. So now over to you, Shalini.
ये रात जरा सी है, बात समझ बंदया, कुछ देर ही बाकी है। रख यकीन आँखों से बादल, आज हट जाएगा। चाँद तेरी आँखों में बंदया, चल के आएगा। बंदया रे बंदया, बंदया रे बंदया, राह पे चल बंदया। बंदया रे बंदया, बंदया रे बंदया, राह पे चल बंदया।
Thank you. My name is Shalini Saraswati. Back in
2012, I led a life that I thought defined success for me. Or as very young as when I always thought I wanted to be this very successful career person, and that was the direction that I went in. So in 2012, I was in a place where I was doing fantastically well in my career. I was checking every single box that I thought defined success. We'd recently bought a house. We were pregnant. We'd just come back from a holiday from Cambodia. I wanted to see the Angkor Wats. And coming from a middle-class family, I think being able to travel abroad and see some of these places was something that we all aspired as children. So for me, all of that meant a lot of success. I came back home, and I remember being at work and feeling very tired and feverish, thinking that it was the pregnancy. And then I reached a point where I was really tired. When I went back to the doctors, they thought it was either dengue or malaria, and that was the first prognosis that was there. From there, things went really down south. The doctors thought I should get admitted in the hospital because they thought I needed more care being pregnant. What had happened was on my holiday to Cambodia, I picked up a very rare bacteria. It's called rickettsia with moths. It happens to 1 in a million people, maybe the first signs that I was special. And it's not something that's very prevalent in India. So the doctors also spent a bit of time to figure out what it was. I remember going into the hospital. That is my last memory, because over the next 6 days, I had a multi-organ failure. My lungs was filled with water. My heart stopped twice. And the doctors pretty much had written me off and didn't think there was any chance that I could survive. Strangely enough, I did wake up on my birthday, which was the 5th of April. And when I did wake up, I noticed that all my limb extremities had turned a dark blue-black. Basically, it's thrombosis, right? Which means that all your blood vessels and blood capillaries are clotted. And I had the doctors at the hospital tell me that there's a very likely chance that I might have to lose all my limbs. But I didn't really believe that it would happen, right? Because it doesn't happen to you. It happens to some person that you read about in the newspapers. It doesn't happen to somebody that you know about. So we went back home. We thought there was going to be a miracle, that there was going to be something that was going to be phenomenally different that would happen. We believed on science on one side and religion on the other side. We hoped one or the other will help us out. I think we had babas in our house. I don't think there was a temple or a mosque or a church that my family did not visit, because we felt that there was hope and there was going to be some sort of a miracle. Simultaneously as well, what had happened was the one thing that I've always had was work. So I went back to work, and at that point in time, I used to manage a large business of about 600 people. It was an Australian project. So I started working from home long before COVID. And one day I remember this smell around me a couple of days, and I couldn't forever figure out what it was. And I asked someone around to say what it was, and they said it was coming from me. So what I had was dry gangrene, basically. And that, for me, was a really low point, because nothing in your life really prepares you for your own flesh rotting, right? As usual, I think we tried all sorts of treatments. And I'm a Malayali, so I went back to my roots. I went to Kerala. I met an Ayurvedic doctor. And the first thing that he said when he met me was Ella Marum, which in Malayalam means that you're going to be fine. But literally, it also means everything changes. And I think it's something that I live by today as well. Over a period in time with the medication, the gangrene to some extent went away, and I thought things were going to look better. And while I was simultaneously working as well, what I managed to do is fracture my first hand. So in March of 2013, this one had to go away. About 6 months later, the rest of this fell off one day, which basically is auto-amputation. The body decides that it doesn't need a body part anymore. Having lost my hands, and I think we were always wanting to really save one hand. Even today, I think if you'd asked me, I'll settle for one. We knew that there was no point in waiting, so we went back and we said that we were going to go ahead with the amputation. The previous day of the amputation, we made a call to all my friends asking for red nail polish. We didn't have red, so we settled for purple, because I decided I was going to paint my feet red, purple color before it went, because I just wanted to make sure that they went in style. And with that, I think in September 2014, my legs were amputated. I thought that I would go back to life, like back to normal, and obviously things did not, because once I wore prosthetics, I couldn't walk 10 steps without help. I couldn't do some of the things that I had taken granted for all my life, right? Like climbing stairs, sitting in a chair, getting off from chair. And that was really tough for me, because I thought that, it would just go back to how it was. I remember walking in a park one day and having this huge breakdown, because I just thought my life was done, because I don't think I can ever lead my life the way I wanted to. I went one day to eat biryani with my husband, and I met my coach. Very important life lesson is that good things happen when you eat biryani. I met him, and he trains professional athletes, and he said, I've never worked with anybody like you, but come along and we'll see what we can do. So that's how I went to Kantirva Stadium for the first time, and the intention when I went to him was just to be able to do some of the basic things, right? Like walk without help, climb a few stairs, sit in a chair, get off a chair. And we started to train, and I really enjoyed the way that he didn't give me any flack for being a person with a disability at all. He would push me as much as any of his athletes he would. We started to run, we started to walk. Eventually we figured we could run, so we were very excited about that. And then about a year later, he said, let's do the TCS, which is the Tata Group's run in Bangalore. And I thought, the man had lost it here, because I didn't run when I was able-bodied. Why would I run now? So I went away for a holiday at that point in time. I came back, and then he said, we'll run 10 kilometers the next year. At this point in time, I'm definitely thinking that my coach has lost it. So I said, yeah, sure, because I thought at some point he's going to figure out that it is a really bad idea, and we'll kind of disagree at that point in time. But we started to train, and I began to enjoy it. So So I ran my first 10 kilometers in 2015. I did it in an abysmal 2 hours, and then I thought I had to do this all over again because I knew I could do better. And that's how I ran the next year, and I did it in an hour and 35. And after that, the running bug just wouldn't stop. I began to see my body for what it is than what it looked like. I began to measure my body by what it can accomplish, not by how much it looked. And I think there was something really cathartic about being able to push your body and to be able to achieve the impossible that made the healing a lot more easier. It allowed me to deal with my devils. It allowed me multiple moments to feel that life was okay. And also multiple times it allowed me to point my non-existent finger into the sky and tell the person up there that he chose to mess with the wrong woman. And from there, then I went on to do the nationals every single year, and I've been a consistent gold and silver medalist from 2016 onwards. The biggest honor for me was to be able to run for the country in the Asian Games in 2023. I do hold the Asian record for the fastest woman on blades in the T62 category. And later this year, because I didn't know what else to do, I did the high rocks as well, because I just felt I had to do something else to prove all over again. With all of that, I'm going to quickly share with you some of my life lessons that has helped me move forward. The first question that's running through all your mind is, how do you deal with something as large as this and become okay with life? It's not easy, right? It's absolutely not. It's hell. You go through the longest time figuring out why this had to happen to you, right? You're constantly going through, why me? Because I didn't do anything bad enough to deserve this. So why did something like this ever happen with me? You also figure that no matter how much you ask the questions are never there. And somebody once pointed out that if you ever won the lottery, you never ask the question, why me? So when something wrong happens as well, you never ask the question, why me? The answer to that really came when I watched Kung Fu Panda 2. Anybody who's watched Kung Fu Panda here? Yes? Yes, my favorite movie. So Kung Fu Panda 2, last part in the movie, you have Shen, who's our evil person, and you have Kung Fu, you have Po, who's on this little driftwood of peace, and he does this, and he finds his inner peace, and then he destroys Shen's evil ship. And Shen then asks him, how could you find inner peace when I destroyed you and your family? And Po just, being Po, says, it doesn't matter. What matters is what you choose to become. And that is a choice every one of us have, to become whom we want, irrespective of what life throws to us. So that was one of the biggest learnings for me. The second important lesson is acceptance is the absolute key to move forward. Like I said, right, like I couldn't understand why it was, and for the very longest time, was very angry and upset with any other human who had 2 hands and 2 feet, because I couldn't understand why you had it and I couldn't. But the key fundamental truth also is that no matter how I felt about my situation does not change. And if you've read Chitra Banerjee's Forest of Enchantment, there's a little, so Forest of Enchantment, if you haven't read it, is Sita's version of the Ramayana, so it's from her perspective. So there's a part in the book where Sita has been, forced to leave the kingdom with both her children, and she feels abandoned. So she says that, and I'm going to read this out for you. All the way back, I pondered the word endure, what it meant. It didn't mean giving in. It didn't mean being weak or accepting injustice. It meant taking challenges thrown at us and dealing with them intelligently, as we knew, until we grew stronger than them. That's what I'm going to work on. And I think that's pretty much what I think I did, that I'm going to go back and work with whatever that I had in my way, that I'm going to deal with this as intelligently as I can. The next question that's probably running through your mind is, how do you run 10 kilometers after losing all your limbs? And someone at a forum asked me that, why did you choose running? Why couldn't you choose something that was easier? And the honest thing is, I think running chose me and I didn't choose running. When I started to run, I think the way I did finish my first 10 kilometers is that, one, was that I didn't run overnight. I started training in 2014, and my first race was 2016. I ran every single day. I trained 6 days a week, all through that time. So it was, if you want to transform your life, you will have to live it very intentionally. I did not run alone. I had a whole bunch of people that ran along with me, and people that believed in me, that made a whole lot of a difference. I wanted to give up at multiple points in the race because I didn't think I was going to be able to finish it. I didn't know that my blood pressure had really dropped. So if anybody had asked me from a physical standpoint, I shouldn't have been able to finish that race at all. But what got me through that race was just me in here telling myself that if I could finish this race, I could deal with anything else in my life. And that's the only reason that I did. And I also remember this one part in the race where I was sitting in Cubbon Park thinking I'm never going to finish this race. And I had this uncle who walked up to me. He took out badam from his pockets. He gave it to me and he said, "Bhago beta." And I think maybe it was just the faith of random strangers that kind of take us to the finish line. And the last point, of course, was you had to enjoy what you're doing. Dreams without goals are just dreams, and ultimately they fuel disappointment. On the road to achieving your dreams, you must apply discipline, but more importantly, you need to apply consistency. Because without commitments, you will never start, but without consistency, you will never finish. My next lesson is about being stronger together. When I look back at my life, I don't know how I got here. I never imagined myself to become an athlete. I never imagined myself to become a motivational speaker. I never imagined any of these things at all for me. The doctors, absolutely. I think the reason that I'm alive today is because those doctors and nurses did not give up on me. I don't remember too much from being in a coma, but I have this one image of a nurse holding my hand and holding the rosary and praying for me. Maybe it was just that got me through the finish line. My family held on and were with me through this entire way. They knew that things will change, but they were willing to kind of hold on there. My friends made sure that the disability did not come in the way of my friendship. I also had coach who came up with this bizarre dream of making me run and making me go to the Asian Games. Of course, we had our differences, we fought, we didn't win every single race, but we had a dream. We had a dream to get to a place. And sometimes it's just that forward in life. And I really believe that I am strong today because I've had a strong bunch of people that were there besides me. Like they say, they take a village to raise a child, and I absolutely believe that I am that child today. I've learned that scars are good to have, right? So people ask me a lot of times why I don't make this look pretty. But I remember when I started out, I would wear shawls, I would cover myself up because I didn't want anybody to know I had a disability. When I would go, and there is this ID card that you have to make, right? As a person with a disability, that requires you to showcase all of your disabilities. So it's a picture of me in shorts, and I hated that picture, and I had to show it when I would pass through airport security. And I remember every time I had to show it, I would always put it face down because I didn't want anybody to see that picture. But today I flash it quite strongly because I'm proud of the person that I am. If you've read Ponniyin Selvan, which is a book written really long ago, there's Vijay Chola that is described there. Vijay Chola is one of the strongest and the most valorous kings of the Chola dynasty. And there's poetry in there where they describe his 96 battle wounds as almost jewelry that he's wearing and flaunting. Because those battle wounds stands for the fact that he went into battle and came back victorious. For all of us today in this room, we all have wounds, whether they're physical or whether they're metaphorical. But all of us need to remember that having those scars reminds us that we battled and we emerged strong. Today, I think I have no fears because of these battle wounds, because I think there's nothing today that can shake me anymore, because I've already been through the worst, right? So I think it's good to have your scars. My other lesson is about how the universe always falls in love with a stubborn heart. So, like I said, my first TCS run, halfway through it, I wanted to give up because I didn't think I was going to finish it. And when I finished the first race as well, I went back, I went into the hospital, threw up, I did all of that, right? And then once I started running professional athletics, my first ever race was in China. So one of the things with prosthetics when you're a double amputee is that you can become taller, right? So I've always been 4 feet nothing all my life. So when my prosthetist asked me if you want to be taller, I said, of course I wanted to be. So I became like this 5'4", 5'6", yeah? And when I got the blades, they made me like a 5'8", right? So I was in rooms, breathing space. I could see without anything being the way. So I was in a great place in my life. So I went for my first race in China, and what had also happened at the same time was the International Para Committee also found out that a lot of double amputees were wearing longer blades because it allowed you to get a bigger stride length and therefore win races. So when I went in, they decided at that point in time that they were going to have this whole thing called as a MASH, which is maximum allowable standing height, which basically they did a math of your measurements from your elbow to your shoulder and hip joints, and they arrive at your total allowable standing height. So when they did that to me, they came back and said, the max you can be is 5 feet, right? Apni auqaat mein raho. And I wasn't allowed to run my first race. I had the India jacket on, and I wasn't even allowed to run. So we went back, we changed the blades, I went back to a 5 feet nothing, and I said that fine, the next year, that was 2019, so I'm thinking the next year is mine, and that was COVID. No races, everything was off. Then I ran on Bangalore roads for a whole year, and then I thought, okay, 2021 was my year. So 2021, my race is in Dubai. I'm in a great place, great form. I was running well. My race starts. I'm running with 3 other women. I'm the only double amputee there, but I'm still thinking I'm fine. I still have a chance at this race. At the 80-meter mark, I do a quick check. I'm in 3rd place. So I'm still thinking fair. A bronze medal as a quadruple amputee still works. And then I trip and I fall. Right? And not just like fall and get up, like I fell and I lost my consciousness. Apparently, I was taken to the hospital and I saw some doctor and I said he was good looking. So I think there were certain parts of my brain that was working. But a large part of my brain, I still don't remember. I have amnesia from that day. But at that point, I really thought, like, what am I doing? Does the universe even wants me to run? Because every single sign has been that I shouldn't. But for me, it was just that I had to prove that I was good enough to get there. And I think I believe in magic because magic happens when you don't want to give up. My last learning is about the impermanence of life and what really matters in life. I think I could have had all the money and fame today, but what really got me through the worst part of my life was having my friends and family with me. Like Maya Angelou says, your legacy is not every building that you have built or every car that you have. Every legacy is every life you've been able to touch. So I think I have learned that life is just fleeting, and all it's going to take is a switch of a button for your life to change. So walk on grass. You're going to miss it when you can't do it. Hold hands as much as you can. Say a lot of I love yous. Give huge hugs. And if I were to ask the question to you that what is the most important things in your life, you're never going to say it's your career, your job title. You're always going to say it's your family, it's your loved ones. So invest in them. Like I said earlier, you're building your legacy with every life you've been able to touch. So for all of you in this audience, I do hope you touch as many lives because you're building your legacy every single day. I'm going to leave you with the last bit of poetry that I really love. Someone once told me to always live for the little things in life. Live for 5 a.m. sunrises and 5 p.m. sunsets, where you'll see colors in the sky that don't usually belong. Live for road trips and bike rides with music in your ears and wind in your hair. Live for the days when you're surrounded by your favorite people who make you believe that the world is not a cold, harsh place. Live for the little things because they will make you realize that that is what life is about. That is what it means to be alive. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, Shalini, thank you. Thank you so much for being here with us. And it was truly mesmerizing to know about you, Shalini. I'm myself a runner, and believe you me, very difficult. And when I heard about you, if I were to summarize in 4 words, ladies and gentlemen, your story is about grit, gumption, perseverance, and lots of never say die attitude. So big round of applause for Shalini once again. So it is time, if any of you has any questions, which you can ask Shalini. I'm sure she would be very happy to answer. Anyone, any questions? Can we have the microphone, please, here on the right side?
Hi, Shalini. This is so inspiring. I think, you get goosebumps when somebody listens to you. So tell me, how did you motivate yourself every day, despite your, whatever were the disadvantages, and despite that, why me? How did you motivate yourself to come up again and again till you reached that marathon stage?
I think genetically, I think I have a problem in here. But I also think it's about, I think it was the way I was raised. I have a very strong feminist mother who always said, I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional, that no matter what, you'll always stand on your own 2 feet. And maybe it's that kind that no matter what, that whatever happens in your life, you need to get back on your feet, is something that was so ingrained in me that I knew that I had to kind of, that, no matter what, I have to do it. And I also think like sometimes, I think for me it was about proving a point to myself as well. So I think that in itself kind of helps you get up and move more than anything else. And also I think once you go so close to death, you really figure out what's really important in life. So, it just gets easier from there because then you figure the rest of it is kind of frivolous and life in itself is more important. I hope I answered your question. Yeah, I'm good. I'm sorry. Like, I just sometimes have these random tears for no apparent reason, but I usually do this quite often and I surprise myself why I have to cry. But yeah, you're just sorry. No, actually, I'm not sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't be sorry. Any more questions? Anybody from the audience?
I think I cried and kind of destroyed all the questions.
Thank you, Shalini. You can be here in the stage for a minute, please. Shalini? Yeah. May I now request Mr. Vinay Verma, MD and CEO M Junction, to come onto the stage and hand over a token of appreciation to Shalini for sharing her wonderful story with her. Thank you, Shalini. Thank you, Mr. Verma. Ladies and gentlemen, with this, we have come to the end of the conference. But before that, we have felicitation session with our sponsors, without whom the conference wouldn't have been possible. So may I now request the IndusInd team to be on the stage, please. The team from IndusInd. May I please request Mr. Dipankar Mukherjee to be on the stage to felicitate IndusInd. Can we have the token of appreciation, please? Request Mr. Dipankar to be on the stage. Can we have Amazon Web Service, AWS team to be on stage, please? May I now request the team from Fort Gloucester Industries to come onto the stage. Fort Gloucester. May I now request Yudhishthir from Green Line to come onto the stage? Yudhishthir from Green Line. All right. Thank you, Mr. Dipankar. May I now request Ms. Chaitali Dev, CFO M Junction, to come onto the stage for the next set of felicitation. Team from BB Minerals, request you to come onto the stage, please. BB Minerals. Pyrotech, team from Pyrotech, if you can come onto the stage. Request the team of Steel Authority of India Limited to also come onto the stage. Can we have a round of applause for all of them, please? Team from Danieli, India. AKA Logistics. Thank you, Chaitali ma'am. With this, we have concluded the felicitation. So, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes day 1 of 13th Indian Steel Markets Conference 2026. We thank you, and a big thank you to all our speakers, sponsors, delegates, partners who have made this conference a success. We look forward to welcoming you this evening for the cocktails and dinner, which begins at 7 p.m. We also invite you to join us tomorrow morning as we continue exploring the future of steel value chain, sharp at 10:30 a.m. right here. Till then, enjoy the cocktails and dinner. Good night.